Hello there, and then welcome to a brand new lesson. This is Hap Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. In this lesson, we are looking at dividing algebraic terms. In our previous lesson, we looked at how to multiply. This time around, we want to divide. Without much ado, let's quickly look into it. Just as we did in the multiplication, there are 3 steps that we need to consider when we want to divide algebraic terms. The very first step is to simplify the signs. Simplifying the signs here, what we do mean is if you have a positive number and you are dividing it by a positive number, your answer is always a positive. If you have a negative number and you are dividing it also by a negative, the answer is always positive. Simply put, when the signs are the same, you'd always get a positive answer. On the other hand, when the signs are different, you always get a negative answer. Now, if you are able to tell the sign of your resultant answer, then you now work on the coefficient. So for the coefficient, you use the normal division rules. The last thing you do is to work on the variables. Now, for variables that are different, when it comes to division, we'll just leave them as they are. But then when they are the same, we apply the laws of indices, specifically the quotient rule, which says we should subtract the exponent if they are the same. With that said, let's look at some examples that will help us understand these steps better. So for our first 2 examples, we'll do very simple ones that we need to establish some understanding before we go to more complicated ones. This here says x cubed divided by x squared. So we have x cubed dividing x squared. If you have something of this nature, the coefficients here are just 1. So there's 1 here and then there's also 1 here. And they are all positive. That should tell us that our answer that we seek is supposed to be a positive number as well. So 1 divided by 1 gives us 1. Then, since the variables are the same, we can actually divide using the quotient rule. So we just write one of them and then we subtract the exponent. That is 3 minus 2. And that gives us what? X raised to the power 1. Better still, you can write it as x because you know any number to the power 1 is still the same number. What if we actually had x to the power 2 divided by x to the power 3? That is x raised to the power 2 divided by x raised to the power 3. We still apply the same set of rules. So with that, we are going to get our x, then 2 minus 3. And 2 minus 3 then gives us negative 1. Now applying the rules of indices, we would get 1 over x. But for now, if you leave it this way, it is accepted. With these basic ones done, let's look at more interesting ones. So for this example we have over here, it says 15x to the power 6 divided by 3x squared. 15x to the power 6 divided by 3x squared. Now looking at our signs, they are both positive. This is to tell us that we are expecting a positive answer as well. So we now simplify the coefficients. We have 15 divided by 3. So 15 divided by 3 gives us a 5. You see, that is from the 15 divided by 3. Then we now come to the variables. Since they are all the same, we can just write one of them. And then we work on the exponent. That is 6 minus 2. This in turn gives us what? Our 5. Then x raised to the power 6 minus 2, which gives us a 4. As simple as that. Now, there are cases where instead of the division sign being written like this, it is written as a fraction. And those ones are also very, very simple to work with. To take such example, let's try this we have over here. It says 20, then 4, 20, a to the power 4, then b to the power 3, all over 5ab squared. So most of the times, if you have it of this form, it is very, very easy if you cancel out. What do I mean by that? We have 20. The a to the power 4 is simply a times a times a, then times another a. Then the b to the power 3 will simply mean b multiplying itself thrice. So I'm going to write times b, then times b. Now we have the denominator being 5. A, b squared simply means what? B times b. So if you have it this way, you can just choose to cancel out. And by so, we mean this 5 cancels itself, or it divides itself once, but then it divides 20 how many times? 4 times. You have this a canceling out this a. You have this b canceling out this b. This b also divides this b. And with that, let's look at what we have remaining as our numerator. We have our 4. Then for the a's, we have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 of the a's. That is a to the power 3. And looking at the b, we have just 1 remaining. So our b comes here all over. For the denominator, what do we have left? Just 1. You see, because 5 has been cancelled out. A, b, all these b's have all been cancelled out. So in essence, we have 4a cubed b. Using this method, we just cancel out and we go our way. Better still, we can apply the normal laws we have been applying. And that is, you have your 20, 4 to the power, a to the power 4, b to the power 3, all over. You have your 5ab squared. So with that, we have our 20 divided by 5. 20 divided by 5 giving us our 4. You have a to the power 4 all over. The all over simply means division. So since the bases are the same, we just subtract the exponent. So that I have a, then 4. There's 1 here, so minus 1. Minus 1 because it is a division. For division of algebra, that is exponents having the same basis, we subtract the exponent. So we have b, which are also the same, and since it is division, we have 3, then minus 2. With that, we are going to get our 4a. 4 minus 3 gives us a 3. Then we have our b. 3 minus 2 gives us what? A 1. And that is also the same as what we did over here. So there are so many ways you can do it, but then you just have to work with understanding. Let's try one last question that will have to do with the numerator being a negative number. So this is what we have here, and it says negative 12x squared y cubed all over 4x to the power 5 y. How do we go about it? So negative 12x squared y cubed all over your 4x to the power 5, then y. Now you can do it with any of the methods we considered here. Negative 12 divided by 4. It is a negative number dividing a positive number. So we are going to get a negative because the signs are different. So 12 divided by 4 gives us 3. So you have negative 3. And since the bases, these x are the same, you have our x. Then 2, since it is divided by, we are going to use minus. So 2 minus 5. That is applying the laws of indices. Anytime it is dividing, you subtract. So it is always the power of the numerator minus the power of the denominator. They have your y, they have your 3 here, then minus 1. Once again, the power of the numerator minus the power of the denominator. And since there's nothing here, we say there is 1 there, but we don't write the 1 for it to be seen. Hence, we have our negative 3x. 2 minus 5 gives us a negative 3 as well. And we have our y. 3 minus 1, on the other hand, gives us a 2. And this becomes our final answer. If you want to expand and actually solve, then instead of what we've done here, it is going to be your negative 12 x squared y cubed all over 4x to the power 5 y. Now take note of the multiplications we are going to do over here. So we just want to expand. We have our negative 12, then x squared simply means x multiplying x. Y cubed simply means y multiplying y and then multiplying y. That is 3 times. Then you have your 4. X to the power 5 has got 5 x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. Then our last y, which is as you see over here. Now with this written in its expanded form, we can now simplify by cancellation. So this y takes out this y. This x takes out this x. This x also takes out this x. Then 4 divides itself once, and then it divides 12 thrice. So in the end, what do we have? We have negative 3. So negative 3. Then for the y's, we have 2 of the y's, making y squared. And for the denominator, we just have an x to the power 1, 2, 3. There are 3 of them. And this becomes our final answer. Is this different from what we had over here? No. So we have negative 3 y squared. Then since we have x to the power 3, applying the laws of indices, it can be written as x raised to the power negative 3. Rearranging in alphabetical order, we can say we have negative 3, x to the power negative 3, then your y squared, which is the same as what we did over here. So you realize that irrespective of the method you use, if you do it right, you are always going to get the correct answer. If there's any issue of concern, you can always let me know at the comment section. And as usual, I'll leave some exercises for you to try on your own. So here are some questions you can try on your own just to test your understanding. If you follow the laws, I think you'd be good at doing all of this. So here are some questions I would like to leave so that you try on your own just to test your understanding. For some, you have to apply the multiplication and then you come to the definition, the division. Let's have beyond numbers where we learn maths the easy way. See you in our next session where we look at the distributive law. Bye for now. Stay safe.